If you're looking to share your music, it has never been easier to release to Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, and a heap of other platforms using DistroKid. And in this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it can be. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to Studio Live today, where my goal is to help you create, record and release your best music. And we're talking releasing today with DistroKid. And a big thank you to DistroKid who are sponsoring this video. We've got three parts that I'm going to go through in this one. Number one, I'm going to take you through the basics. This is just the facts, just the information you need to get releasing with DistroKid. Number two, we're going to release a song right here, right now, so you can see the full end-to-end process. And number three, I'm going to answer the three most common questions that I get about DistroKid. So let's dive in with part one. Oh, and there are timestamps down in the description, so if you want to jump to a particular section or answer a specific question, jump in the description and you'll be able to find your way. So what do you need to release your music online? Well, the first thing you'll need is a distributor. Now, DistroKid are not only just sponsoring this video, but I've been using them for more than 3 years and have released an album, 2 EPs, and countless singles over that time. Because the beauty part of DistroKid is that you can upload and release an unlimited number of songs, EPs, and albums every year for just $19.95. And even better than that, there is a link down in the description where you can save 7% off your first year of DistroKid. So the first thing we need is to sign up to a distributor and get ready to release our music. The second thing you need is an actual song to release. So whether you're releasing one song, 5 songs in an EP, or 10 or more songs in an album, you need the audio files. Now, I recommend that you use an uncompressed audio file. So a WAV file is the most universally accepted. Now, when you export or share or render your song from your DAW, your digital audio workstation, after you've completed it, you want to save that file somewhere on your Mac or your PC so that you're ready to upload it with DistroKid. The third thing you'll need is some album artwork for your release. Now, I use canva.com. It's a free online design platform that can really quickly and easily create you a great looking album cover, but you can use any other software that you like. The key thing is to make sure you follow these few guidelines. Make sure that it's at least 3000 by 3000 pixels so that it's going to be a high quality image. Don't increase the size of smaller images to fill that space. They'll look blurry and they may get rejected by stores. And keep it simple. Make sure you're only putting information like your artist name and the name of your song. If you're putting things like @ symbols and hashtags and other things in there, then it may again be rejected by the stores. So keep your album artwork simple, high resolution, high quality, and check out canva.com if you want a free way to create your own album art. The number 4 thing you need is an artist name. Now, this might sound pretty obvious. You might say, I'm just using my name or my band name. That's cool, but check to make sure that it's unique. If it's not, you can run into problems where your music is attached to other people's profile, and you don't want that. So if you're John Smith and you go into Spotify or iTunes and you search for John Smith and you see a whole bunch of other people, maybe you need to consider being Johnny Rainbow Smith or something better than that. But you get the drift here. Make sure that you use a unique artist name and think about that before time so that you don't run into trouble down the track. Number 5, and again, it might sound obvious, but you need a song title. So you need to have thought about the song title beforehand, exactly what you're going to call your song or your EP or your album if you've got multiple songs. So make sure you have all of that worked out, ready to go before you start your release process. Number 6 is genre. So you need to know what type of music you've created and what category you want the different stores to put your music in. So is it folk music? Is it rock? Is it heavy metal? Is it rap? Is it hip hop? And usually you can add up to 2 different genres, and then some stores will use one, some will use the secondary one. So make sure you've got a bit of an idea of the 2 styles or genres that your music can be categorized as. And the final thing to consider is where you would like your music released to. So DistroKid support hundreds of different platforms, and you can actually go through and choose which ones you do and don't want to release to. Now, my general advice, especially for your first release, is you might as well release it everywhere. Everywhere that DistroKid releases to for free, you might as well tick those boxes. There's also some premium services such as Pandora and YouTube Content ID that you can select. And if you hang around for the demonstration we're going to do in just a moment, you'll see all of those options in action. So now that you know all the things you need to release your first song, let's jump over to DistroKid and show you exactly how easy it really is. I've logged in here to my DistroKid account, and here is all the music that I've released. Now, to upload a new song, or in your case, maybe your first song, we're going to click on the upload button, and this is going to take us into the DistroKid upload form. Step 1 is to choose the stores to release to. Now, my recommendation is to leave them all on, but if there's a particular store that you didn't want to release to, just unselect it and then tick again if you want to reselect it. And these are all the stores that your music will be uploaded to and then made available to stream or purchase. The next option here is number of songs, which is whether we're releasing one song, a single, or multiple songs, an EP or an album. Now, if we select multiple songs, what will actually happen is further down, instead of being one track worth of information, we'll have 5 different tracks worth of information to complete, which you can see here. We've got track 1, and as we scroll down, we've got track 2, track 3, and so on. So we'll need to fill in all the information for multiple tracks. In this one, we're just releasing one track, but all you need to do is follow the exact same instructions for multiple tracks if you're releasing an EP or an album. Next, we need to advise if our song has been previously released. So if it's an updated version of a song, then we need to put yes and then update the original release date. This one is a brand new song. We're going to leave that as no. Next up is artist or band name. Now, DistroKid have got some guidelines here. They let you know to make sure you're not using anyone else's name without their permission, that if you've got a featured artist on your track, you put that in the track title, not in the artist name, and to make sure your capitalization is okay. The other recommendation I have, as I've mentioned, is to make sure you've got a unique name, because if you're using a name that someone else has released as, then you can run into trouble with your music landing in their catalogs. Now, be careful with this, because the musician account for $19.99 per year, you only get one artist name. The Musician Plus, if you upgrade to that, you get 2, and then you can get 5 and more if you go to the label account. But on the musician plan, you're only going to get one artist name, so choose it wisely. Next up, we have whether your artist name is in Apple Music or Spotify. Now, because I've released before, my name is there. If you've released before, you'll be able to actually make sure that you attach your song to your artist name of your previous releases. The first time you release, though, it will create one for you. So once again, that's why it's so super important to have a unique artist name. Next up is the release date. Now, with the musician account, you don't have control over the release date. It will be released as soon as possible. If you upgrade to the Musician Plus account, you get this as a premium feature where you can select a date in the future, and that will be the date that your song is released. The same is true for pre-orders. If you have a Musician Plus account, you can set a pre-order for iTunes, Amazon, and Google Play, meaning folks can actually purchase your song, and then when it's released, they get it on that day. And record label is yet another feature of the Musician Plus account. If you don't have the Musician Plus, the record label will be DK and then a number there. So if you do want to have control over the name of your record label that you release under, then you will need to upgrade to the Musician Plus or the label account. Time to dive into the fun stuff. I've removed my face so you can see this information from DistroKid. So hit pause if you want to read this, but this is the advice that they give around album artwork. Keep it clear, don't make it blurry, 3000 by 3000 pixels, and make sure you're not including any of those other words that are not relevant. If you're putting hashtags and email addresses and other promotional things in there, it may not make it. Now, here's one I prepared earlier. I'm going to bring across my files here. I've got my Pete John's Imagination in a PNG and a JPEG file, so I can use either of these with DistroKid. Let's use PNG because it's generally slightly better quality. All we need to do is drag that across and drop it, and boom, there is my album artwork ready to go. And once again, if you want to create your own album artwork, check out canva.com, a free design platform that can help you out. Next up is the language. So if your lyrics are in a different language, just select the language there and move on to the next one, which is our genre. So the first genre or category I'm going to choose is hip hop or rap. And then the second genre here, I'm going to make alternative. So you can make those whatever you like, just make sure they match up, because that is going to be where those songs show up. So if you want to make it into playlists and you want people to be able to find your type of music, make sure your genres are what you want them to be. Okay, we're starting to get into the nitty-gritty here. We need our track title. So I'm going to type in Imagination. I'm going to make sure I've spelled it correctly and use the correct capitalization and followed all of these rules from DistroKid. So it's giving you these tips and guidelines because DistroKid want to make sure your song gets released and it doesn't get rejected by the stores because you haven't followed these. So please hit pause right now, or when you're doing it, read through them carefully and make sure if you're using featured artists, if you're doing other things, that you are are putting the right information there in the song title. Time for what is arguably the most important part of any song release, the actual song. So what we need to do here is click on the Choose File button, navigate to where we have the file saved. So here it is, Pete Johns imaginationmaster.wave. Make sure it's the right length, the right size. Please listen back to it, check that it's actually right. I've had a listen before the video, so we're all good. I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to click open, and there you go. It's added that in there, ready to upload at the end of the process. Next up, we have the Songwriter. So if you wrote the song or you're managing the Songwriter, it's an original tune, leave it there. If it's a cover song, someone else wrote it, click on that one. And then you're going to go into a whole bunch of information here about cover songs. Now, I'm not going to cover this in detail, but the bottom line is you can release a cover. DistroKid will still collect royalties and pass on to the original artist, and it does cost you $1 per month, so $12 per year to release a cover song using DistroKid. This one is not a cover, so we're going to leave it as I wrote this song. Next up, we have this songwriter information. So what we can do here, we can decide whether it's music, lyrics, or music and lyrics. I happen to be the only songwriter of both the music and the lyrics, so I can enter my name in here. Now, it does need to be your real name at this point. You'll notice that my artist name is Pete Johns. I am actually Peter Johns. So you need to add your real name there, and that is to ensure that if there are royalties to be paid from a songwriting perspective, that it actually goes to you. It needs to be your real name that goes in there, especially if you have an artist name that is nothing like your real name. You want to make sure you put your real name in there as the songwriter. If you need to add more, just hit the add button and you can add multiple fields if there are multiple songwriters on your track. Next up, we have explicit lyrics. Now, I'm not sure if it's defaulted to yes because I said it was hip hop and rap, maybe, but we're going to go no, I don't have explicit lyrics in this particular song. We are getting there, just a few more options to go. Next up, is this a radio edit? No, the song is cleaned and always has been. If you have released an explicit version and this is a cut down, clean or radio version, you can select that so that the different platforms will know that this is the one to play in a playlist of clean songs. Is it an instrumental or does it contain lyrics? In my case, it is a song containing lyrics, so we're going to leave that one as is. Now, this part is interesting. It's been added recently, and this is the preview clip time. So for TikTok, Apple Music, iTunes, anywhere that uses a specific part of a track as the preview, or in the case of TikTok, as the part of the track that can go with a video, this is where you can do this. So we can let the streaming services decide, or I can actually click here and specify a time. So if you want to come in here and say, yeah, it's right at the 1 minute and 10-second mark of this song, that's where you want it to actually jump in, then you can actually do that. You can also do this after the fact. So one of the things you can edit is this preview clip start time. So for now, I'm just going to let the streaming services decide. Next, we have track price. Now, this is another of the premium features available on the Musician Plus account. So if you have the Musician account, this is going to default to the 99-cent track price. We can vary this on the Musician Plus either down to 69 cents or up to $1.29. I'm going to leave it at 99 cents. So I've removed my face and let's quickly jump through the optional extras that DistroKid provide. First up is Instagram and Facebook. So this allows people to use your music in the Music in Stories feature in Instagram and can potentially open it up for you to be able to use your music in Facebook in the future. If you want to not do that, leave it unticked. I'm going to tick it because I like to release to as many places as possible. Next up is the Store Maximizer. So this is $7.95 per year, and what this will do is whenever DistroKid add a new store, it will automatically release your song to that store. You can, of course, go in and manually add new stores by editing your release at any time, but this will do it for you automatically. Next up is Shazam and iPhone Siri. So this means that people can identify your single if they're hearing it being played on radio, TV, in stores, restaurants, parties, etc. I'm actually going to add this. I haven't used this on previous ones. I want to test it out. I want to add this one to Shazam and iPhone Siri, so I've selected that option. And the final option here is Leave a Legacy. So this is a $29 one-time fee, and this means that DistroKid will never delete and remove your song from stores in the future, even if you don't have an active DistroKid account. So if you want to make sure your song is on there forever, then you can select that option. All right, this is it. The final check boxes. I need to tick on all of these. You can hit pause and read what I'm agreeing to, but I'm basically saying I'm doing all the things that DistroKid told me to do and that they have warned me against all of the things that may go wrong if I don't follow that. So all I need to do now is hit the big blue done button and we are going to be done. Boom. verifying, uploading. The album artwork is uploaded first. That looked like it's worked okay. The track is now uploading. We are going 30%. Isn't this riveting? But you can see it's a pretty quick process here. Depending on the speed of your connection will be how quickly the actual track is uploaded. I am going to go away, wait for this to finish, and then come back. And there we go. It is 100% done. It is finishing, and then it's going to pop us to our hopefully success screen, which it has. Here we go. Done. That was easy, wasn't it? There is my release, Imagination by Pete Johns. It is now being rushed out there through the internets and going to all of the different stores so that it can be available for streaming and for purchasing. And if we scroll down, we get a little bit more information. When will this single be released? Give stores up to a week to push your album live, and then it gives us some additional information about how long it's going to take to go to each of those stores. Now, the cool thing is here that we can share to different social media sites, and we've also got this cool little preview option. So if I click on this one, it's going to load up in a separate tab, and it's got my name there, it's got my album, and we can come down here and we can pre-save it to Spotify. So if folks want to actually click that link, they can pre-save it. And in fact, I will put that link to my Hyperfollow for this song in the description of this video if you want to check it out. It's time for our third and final part, which is the top 3 questions I get asked about DistroKid. Number 1, how long does it take for my music to appear in the stores? Well, thankfully, DistroKid have a handy dandy guide, which I will link down in the description, but it's generally anywhere from 1 day up to about 4 or 5 days. And in my experience, it's usually around 2 to 3 for places like Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play. Spotify can take a couple of days longer. And funnily enough, some of the smaller stores can actually be quite quick, sometimes within 24 hours. Your mileage is going to vary, so make sure that if you want to make sure it's available at a certain time, that you release it as early as possible. And if you're using the Musician Plus or one of the premium accounts with DistroKid, you can even select your own date and release it at a future date, which can help you make sure that it's available in all the different stores on the day that you want. Question 2, how long does it take to get paid, and how do I get paid? Well, how long it takes is around about 3 months, and this is because most of the stores take 3 months to report the earnings, your royalties, through to DistroKid. And unfortunately, it's something that DistroKid can't control. But once they have received those reports, they go straight into your bank, and you can jump in there and check out how much you've earned. Now, once it's time to withdraw that money, PayPal is probably the most convenient way to do so. There are other methods, especially for folks in the US, but for like me, if you're outside of the US, PayPal is the go. The one other thing that you need to consider is you will need to provide your tax identification information the first time that you're withdrawing from DistroKid. That is because earning royalties from music is an income. Now, I'm not a tax professional or an accountant, so please consult an accountant or a tax professional in your country to determine what and if you have to declare in terms of the income and the revenue you earn from your music. And the third most common question I get asked about DistroKid is, can I delete a song that I've released, or can I edit it? Now, delete, yes, it's a very simple process. Go into your music and go down, and there's a delete option, and then that will remove it within about 1 to 2 weeks from all of the different stores. And there's an article linked in the description from DistroKid explaining exactly how to do that. Editing is a little bit more challenging. There are some things that you can edit. So you can add lyrics to your song, you can edit that, and you can edit things like what part of the song will actually be played back through things like TikTok and Instagram and iTunes as the preview. So there are some things that you can edit. If you go into your music and check out the edit release option, you'll be able to see exactly what you can and can't edit from there. However, if you want to change things like your artist name, you want to change the actual audio file of your song, you will need to remove it and then re-release it. Thank you once again to DistroKid for sponsoring this video, and don't forget there is a link down in the description for 7% off your first year on any DistroKid plan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.